Welcome to Commander Tilt. My name is Clark. A little bit about my channel. I build fun and focused commander decks, and I like to play them against themselves to determine which of my decks is the strongest and most powerful. Also, just a chance to play them and see how they work and what interactions are working amongst themselves. I have created a bracket system to see which decks are going to win, and this is the final battle of the first bracket that I've created. It is a bracket of 8, which I'll put on the screen, and in this bracket we have decided, I've gotten all the way to the end. Every battle has been a best of 3 match, and the final match, if you've watched my previous videos, came down to Feather versus Jodah. Jodah won the first match, Feather won the second, so the winner of this one wins the entire thing. Feather is a 3/4 legendary creature angel with flying that costs red, white, white. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature you control, exile that card instead of putting it into the graveyard as it resolves. If you do, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. Feather's deck is revolved around instants and sorceries, and bringing them back to her hand involves a great deal of card advantage for Boros, which is an unheard of thing for the Boros deck. Feather, I've always imagined as kind of a militant and enthusiastic leader, and she's of course an angel, so she's got angels that follow her and into battle. Next, let's talk about Jodah, Archmage Eternal. He is a legendary creature human wizard, a 4/3 with flying that costs 1 blue, red, white. His text says you may pay Huberg white, blue, black, red, green rather than pay the mana cost for spells that you cast. So Jodah, according to lore, has been around for something like 3,000 years. And as you can tell by my videos, I've imagined Jodah as a little bit eccentric. Living for 3,000 years is difficult on the human mind, I would imagine, and he has a hard time always connecting with reality. So you'll get to know him a little bit through my videos, and I've imagined him as a pretty funny character. His deck revolves around casting big, giant spells, and preferably spells that are just huge, so that he can get a huge amount of card advantage for cheating stuff out. Feather's opening hand was Burnished Heart, Niveus Wisps, Battlefield Forge, Windscarred Crag, and 3 Mountains. Jodah's opening hand was Brilliant Ultimatum, Stinkweed Imp, Command Tower, Mountain, Swamp, and 2 Forests. Jodah won the die roll. Let's get started.
Alright, my draw is Commit to Memory. Next, I'm gonna put down this Command Tower and pass the turn.
My draw is Razor Swine. I will put down a Wind-Scarred Crag, gaining 1 life, and pass the turn.
My draw is Grow from the Ashes. I'm gonna put down a Forest. Then I'll pass the turn.
My draw is a Plains. I will put down the Mountain and pass the turn.
Okay, I got me an Archetype of Imagination to the party barn. Now take a look at this. I'm gonna drop me a Swamp, and then tapping my mana. This is gonna be epic. Here comes Stinkweed Imp. Dude, this guy's disgusting. I love it. Passing the turn.
My draw is again Plains. I will play the Plains, and then Feather the Redeemed!
And those fires were pretty cool looking on Feather. I got me a Crow Manticore into the party barn, dropping a Mountain. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and tap 3 mana for Grow the Ashes. Didn't want to wait for the kicker, because I need a Plains real badly. I'll drop that Plains, then I'm gonna go ahead and pass the turn.
My draw is Sheltering Light. I will play a Plains for my land. 2 arms! 2 arms! Feather will attack.
I'll block with the Stinkweed Imp.
I will pay a mana for Sheltering Light, which gives Feather indestructible and allows me to scry one. My scry is Plains, which I put on the bottom of my deck.
Hey, little guy, come on back to a man cave. I'll take good care of you. You don't have to call me stranger. I'm Jodah.
Next, I play the Razor Swine.
Ah, fiddle faddle.
And then Sheltering Light is returned to my hand on end step. I pass the turn.
Alright, gonna untap my lands. Then I'm gonna draw a swamp. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and tap 4 mana for Jodah. I'll put down a forest from my land drop. Then I'll pass the turn.
I will draw Tall Room Piper. Then I remember to untap. I play a mountain for my land drop. Two arms! 2 arms! I attack with Feather. And play Sheltering Light.
I'll take the damage.
I scry Marble Diamond and bottom it. I hit for 3 commander damage. Then I tap a mana for Niveus Wisps, allowing me to draw Leonin Battle Mage. Then I tap my remaining mana for Burnished Heart and pass the turn.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and untap. My draw for turn is Rampant Growth. That's a pretty epic spell. Allows me to put a land into play tapped. Next, taking a look at my options here. What do I got in the party barn? I'm gonna go ahead and tap Hooberg for this spell. Gonna be epic. Here it comes. Brilliant Ultimatum! I'm gonna take the top 5 cards off my library, and then I'm gonna get to cast some of them for free. You're gonna love this. 5 cards. Let's see what I got here. Island, Plains, in Garrick's Wake, Mountain, Encroaching Waste. What I got? 4 lands.
I will put the 3 colored lands in one pile, and the other pile will have Garrick's Wake and Encroaching Wastes.
Okay, I see I got the 3 lands. I'm gonna put them into exile. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cast Encroaching Waste. Well, I just put it into play, and then I get to cast the board wipe in Garrick's Wake. Take a look at this. I'm blowing you up. See you later, Feather. Ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. That's a little more like it. Board wipe clean. Just Jodah on the board. I'm gonna be taking this battle. Now, I got 2 mana open yet, a green and that Encroaching Waste. I can cast Rampant Growth and fetch me up. Gonna get me an island. I love them islands. They're beautiful. I like the islands. Now, moving to combat, I'm swinging with Jodah. 4 damage to your face. I'm passing the turn.
Untap. My draw is Soul Ring. I will play a mountain for my land. And then tap the mountain for Soul Ring. Next, I will tap the mana for Leonin Battle Mage. Then I will pass the turn.
Ooh, it's my turn again. Untap my land first, getting ready. Now, I'll go ahead and take a draw. Here it is, my boy, Jin-Gitaxias, the Core Augur. This guy is so creepy, I love it. Drop me down a swamp. Then I'm gonna pay Hooberg for, you guessed it, here he comes. The Augur himself, Mr. Disgusting, it is Jin-Gitaxias!
It is not a goal, but a process. The process of creating the perfect Phyrexia.
Move into combat, I'll swing with Jodah. 4 more damage to your face. Now I get to draw 7 cards because the Jin Gitaxias is triggered. That's my boy. Here we go. I drew Grinning Totem, Forest, Elish Norn, Slippery Karst, Tally Primal Storm, Quirion Dryad, and Increasing Vengeance. Taking a look into my hand, I'm going to have to discard down to 7 cards. To the beach you go, commit to memory. I'll go ahead and interrupt that and cycle Slippery Karst and draw me up a forest. But then I send the forest to the beach. I'll pass the turn.
Untap. My draw is Expedite. I will play Battlefield Forge as my land drop, and then I will pay 5 for Feather the Redeemed. Next, I will pay a mana for Sheltering Light, digging for answers to Jin Gitaxias. My scry is Boros Kirun, which I bottom. Next, I play Expedite, drawing me Abu Jafar. Then I remember I have a Soul Ring, which I completely forgot. Jodah, would you mind if I redact the mana I tap for Feather to leave behind some colored mana?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Thanks. I will tap a mana for Abu Jafar. Then I will pay a white mana for my Battlefield Forge, which shocks me for 1. I Planivious Wisps, still digging for answers. This taps the Leonin Battle Mage, and I draw Survive the Night, no help. Two arms! Feather attacks for 3 commander damage.
Got no blockers.
At the beginning of my end step, all the instants return to my hand, but then I am forced to discard my entire hand because of the accursed Praetor.
Alright, I'm gonna untap. Let's see which card I get to add to the party barn. Looks like it's gonna be Spectre Ward. Not too worried about it considering he don't have a hand no more. I'll put a forest down from the land drop, then I'm gonna tap Huberg. Or I'm gonna set the Huberg aside so I can just visually understand. I'll tap 2 mana for the Quirion Dryad, then I'm gonna tap Huberg and 2 extra for Crow Manticore. Now this is an enchantment creature, I can attach it to something. Should it be Jin Gitaxias? Nah. I'm gonna put it on the Quirion Dryad. Take a look at this. She gets +1/+1 for each colored spell. Turns her into a 9/9 flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, lifelink. That's a mouthful. Moving to combat, I'll swing with Jodah, smacking 4 to your face, and then I get to draw 7 more cards. Gotta send to the beach the Borderland Explorer, Primordial Sage, and the Spectral Ward, as well as the Robe of Mirrors. Don't have no need for them no more. I'll pass the turn.
I top deck Cataclysmic Gearhulk. I cast it. I select the Soul Ring for my artifact and save Feather for my creature. Everything else is destroyed. I sure hope he sacrifices Jin Gitaxias.
I can't decide if I want to keep the Quirion Dryad or Jin Gitaxias. I'm going to roll a die, 1 through 3 or 4 through 6. I get a 1, which means Jin Gitaxias, you're going to the beach, and I'm going back to my party barn. First I'll untap. My draw is Archetype of Aggression. That's a creepy looking guy. Look at him. Now I'm going to go ahead and spend the mana for Jodah Archmage. That pumps up my Quirion Dryad to a 12/12. I'll go ahead and attack with the Quirion Dryad, hitting for 12 damage to the face. Now I'll pass the turn.
My draw is Sunforger. I spend the mana to cast, and then equip Sunforger. I leave untapped 1 plains and 1 mountain and pass the turn.
First I'm gonna untap. My draw is gonna be swamp. I'll put down that swamp. Then I'll cast Tapu Yug for Archetype of Imagination. Take a look at this guy, he's pretty cool. Now that means Feather's not flying anymore. I'm gonna cast Demand. Since it's a split card, it pumps my Query and Dryad up to a 15-15. Move into combat, I'll swing with Jodah and the Query and Dryad.
I spend the mana to unequip Sunforger and search my deck for an answer. The only solution I can find is Impact Resonance, but I don't realize while I am searching that Jodah already has lethal on me, so this spell does no good. I am killed by a giant Dryad Manticore creature. What an ignominious defeat.
And with that, victory is mine! There you have it. We have a victor in our first ever Commander Tilt competition. Now, I am so excited to announce that Jodah is the final victor and he has won his first competition. I've already started planning my second Commander Tilt, and just as a surprise for myself, I've actually created a couple of, I think 3 brand new decks that I've actually never played before. So in this competition, even I will be surprised to see who wins, because I have not played some of these decks before. The 8 decks are going to be featured in the next Commander Tilt are going to be Scion of the Ur-Dragon, Kambal, Console of Allocations, Zada, Hedron Grinder, Skeleton Ship, Muldrotha the Gravetide, Shanna, Sisay's Legacy, Chulain, Teller of Tales, and Feldegriff. You'll notice I put the 2 Bant commanders against each other so that there would only be 1 Bant moving into the next round. So I am really excited to get started playing these battles and seeing who's going to move on and win the second tournament. I want to thank everybody that has watched these videos up until this point. Thank you so much for watching them. It's been a great deal of work, but it's also been a passion project of mine. It has been so much fun just creating and characterizing these decks and having just all these interactions and fun voices and interesting things happen in the games. Moving forward, I sure would like it if each and every one of you would like my videos and subscribe to them. Also, I have a Patreon page if you wouldn't mind visiting it. I have some rewards set up for my Patreons. Thank you so much for watching my videos. You have a great day. Bye.
It's the turn of the century. Olaf and Sven are trying to get into America. Now they've heard they've only got a certain amount of jobs available, that times are tough. So they know the questions they're going to ask them. Olaf gets in line first, and the officer says, "What's your name and what's your career?" Olaf, in a very clear voice, says, "My name is Olaf, and I'm a diesel fitter." The officer says, "Diesel fitter? Don't think we got a whole lot of those. Come on into America, Olaf." Sven's next. The officer says, "What's your name and what do you do?" Sven says, "Well, my name is Sven, and I am the one that sews the little laces onto the women's underwear." The officer says, "Think we got too many of those. You can't come in." Sven gets quite irate. He says, "What do you mean? You let Olaf in here?" The officer looks confused. He said he was a diesel fitter. What does that even mean? Sven says, "Well, it's simple. I sew the little lace onto the women's underwear, and then I hand them to Olaf. And Olaf holds them up and looks at him, and he says, 'Oh yeah, sure, diesel fitter.'"